Greetings, beings, and all people everywhere. This is Are We Yet Asleep? And I'm Miss J. I'm here tonight along with Jesse and Kim.
Hey. What's cracking?
Hey. I've got some really loud feedback going on in the background on someone's line.
I know. What you gonna do? You know, it's like.
Okay. This is Are We Yet Asleep? And we're on WTLC Talk Radio, and we are just kind of coming together for our weekly conversation here this evening. You can join us tonight if you call in at 347-989-8851, dial 1 to join the conversation at any time. We love your feedback and comments. And also you can check us out online. We are on Facebook in our group, closed group AWYA. You can take a search for it and join it. We post interesting follow-ups and supplemental, facts about what we talk about from week to week. So we're going to just dive right in. As you know, we always look around to see, are your eyes open to the world around you? Are you walking around in a daze? And tonight, our conversation, we're going straight in to ask the real questions. For those of you who are in on pop culture, we're going to ask you, do you have the blue pill blues, or are you living a red pill reality? And we're going to be examining The Matrix tonight. And not just The Matrix, the movie, but The Matrix as possible reality. So it's going to cover a wide range of perspectives about it. And I know I'm kind of excited because I don't know about you, but every time I come across that movie, I really have to stop and watch it from wherever point it is in the plot, and I always get something new and different out of it.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. That happens to me every time. Man, we just knuckleheads trying to get through this, man, you know, just doing the Matrix thing for a minute, and I'm like, man, I'm tired.
We're all Neo?
Yeah, exactly, man. We sick and tired of the BS, you know, and if you're not, then you choose the blue pill. If you want the truth, you choose the red pill. I didn't choose the red pill, man. I don't think I really knew what was going to happen when I took that pill. Because if I did know, I probably would be a little bit less excited about taking the pill, but not for real. I'm talking this. You got to have heart if you're going to take the red pill, though. You know what I mean? You got to have, just point blank, you got to have some balls and you got to have heart. Because it's a lot that you go through when you choose the truth. You know, that's just real talk. You got to be gangster with it.
Well, if you're one of our listeners who by chance has missed the whole conversation so far, it's like, what is a matrix? I don't know. We're going to let our resident pop expert give us a rundown real quick, Kim, on what the basic Matrix 1 was about. You know, give a little background.
Oh, no, you didn't put me on the spot like that. Okay, hold on. Let me think of a Cliff Notes version here. Hey, Jesse, by the way, and hello,
what up,
and
Kim?
hello, everybody. Essentially, the Matrix breaks down to a lowly, kind of introverted computer hacker who ends up getting tapped and brought into a situation where he has to make a choice to face what is really, really happening around him or to continue living his life day by day in its, non-satisfied state. He chooses to know what the reality is, and the reality is that what he thought was reality is not that at all. In other words, it's programmed. It's something artificial made to make us content because we as humans have been subjugated by our own technology. We basically gave birth to AI, scorched the sky, think of kind of Terminator-ish type of stuff. So in reality, all of this that we see here and now where we think that we're really living our lives, really it's just a virtual reality that's been set up for us and that we're nothing more than food, essentially, for the machines that are running us. So it takes off from there. And
I was going to say, I remember when I came out of that movie, I think it was 1999, I felt like I experienced something very unique. I felt like I had been let in on like a massive secret that really they didn't even know how much truth they were telling us in that movie. I mean, I literally was like mind blown with the binary code dropping out and the whole, way that the story went into the fact of us being batteries. And I wasn't even approaching it from like any kind of spiritual side. I was just like, wow, the oracle, all that stuff in there, it just really, it made me feel like, wow, this could be possibly a reality. And that was, almost 15 years ago. I felt like it was like a Hollywood secret revealed by accident or on purpose.
Well, in a way, it kind of reminded me, I love the way that they did it, with all the, action sequences, the big bad, agents, the computer programs coming to get everybody, the way they set it up for the basically mankind fighting for its survival type of situation. But it reminded me of a movie that's probably a little older that didn't really get a lot of play, but if you've never checked it out, you need to. It's a movie called Dark City. And basically the gist was this guy kept waking up in these weird situations. He woke up in the middle of a murder scene, was being accused of the murder. Turns out he hadn't done it, but he was trying to kind of uncover, what had happened. And it turned out that the way that this city is set up, every night at midnight, the entire city goes to sleep, and people are basically taken and put into different type of life situations. It's a big experiment. You live your life however you're assigned at that time, and when you wake up, that's your new reality. And it's all done by, like, these alien kind of folk. Kind of same gist, if you will, just, more on a, technological, spectrum with the Matrix. But what if that is our reality? What if what we're living right now is just what's being told to us? What if that's what our brain is being given by whatever signals? It's been predetermined, but in reality, there's something else going on in the background that people are just starting to catch glimpses of. You know what I mean? It just makes you really wonder what the hell is really going on out there.
Well,
there's got to be more to it than this.
There is a lot to the whole Matrix idea, and we're really off to a fast start this evening. I'm really just loving the conversation. This is exciting to me because, when you look at the reference of a matrix, of a system or a construct of something. Now I've seen, just in the last few months, there have been articles in the scientific journals that are looking to prove or providing scientific evidence that supports the idea that we are actually in some form of holographic projection. I don't remember the exact title, but I'm going to look it up after the show when we get a break to see what it exactly was. I know it made headlines across, it's like Scientific American and some of the mainstream things saying, is our reality truly just a hologram? And that's 15 years after Hollywood says that it's a fantasy, then science says that it might be an actual reality. That's not too short of a cycle, if we're looking at from Independence Day when they tell you, well, yeah, there really are aliens and we've known about them all along. What year did that come out? When is Hollywood part of? Well, we know Hollywood is part of the Matrix, right? It's part of what creates our reality for us. It
and it also preps you for what's coming. Sorry, go ahead. I said it also preps you for what's coming, but go ahead.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's part of the program is, like media, of course, would be part of a program. If such a program, let's say we're not even in a holographic, scientific-based matrix reality, but maybe we're in a specific reality that's created to keep us in a low vibration, such as what we would find when you look at the Illuminati conspiracies or the world order kind of conspiracies that they say they're conspiring to keep us all, in a low vibration health-wise, mentally and physically, and that our energy is harvested by them. That's one of the theories that I've heard, right? I'm sure you've read that as well, Jesse, right?
I ain't read it, but I feel it, though. I know that's a fact.
You know, so when we find out that our reality isn't our reality, then I think the matrix, if you will, or if the matrix represents our understanding of our waking world, we're kind of in one of those moments where we're seeing the cat go by twice, right? The deja vu. You know, that's how Neo started to realize that something was different, because he started having some really weird experiences where his reality was challenged. Where, you know, a guy tells you to jump off the ledge and you decide, I'm not doing it this time, and you end up in a room with the guy who melts your face. That is his reality. That made him stop to pay attention, like, well, maybe there is such a thing as the Matrix. I've never seen a face melting before. You know? And I think that people are having those kind of wake-up moments like, well, I never thought there was a cabal, but it certainly seems like, you know, some of the financial chicanery and buffoonery that's happening could be cabal-related. So,
yeah, buddy.
You know, and it's crazy because you look at that setup of what's happening, you know, and you know, some people are, you know, it's just a chain of events. It's just this, it's just that. But when you look, if you subscribe to those alternative theories that, you know, people are planning, you know, X, Y, Z to, you know, depopulate the earth, reduce the population, they need to, you know, be in control, you know, whatever the nefarious agenda is, you can't help but wonder how this stuff just lines up, and the you know, the stuff that they give us to be distracted and to keep us, you know, in check and, you know, just wide open for whatever else they kind of slip under the belt. You know, it kind of just goes back almost like the same scenario of, I hate to bring it up, but, you know, how we went into Iraq, you know, let's use this, and then they're going to use that to slip in over here and do this, all with everybody's support. And it's all just theater, you know, just like Wag the Dog or whatever that movie was, you know, where they did the whole fake war just to cover up the scandal. You know, same crap, and we just feed into it every day because we think that this is what reality is, not thinking that there is a whole other sub-layer happening in the background.
Well, that's where the choice between the red and the blue pill comes up, you know, because in the movie The Matrix, they're talking about, you know, well, Morpheus presents to Neo the red or the blue pill, and it represents a choice of, do you want to see what's behind the, you know, what is portrayed as an illusion of a reality. And if you want to stay in that illusion of reality, you know, in a little drama that you have been experienced, you know, you work in this job in the cubicle, and you go to work every day, and then you go home, and you might have a little moment here and there where you're feeling inspired within yourself, and something has you drawn. There's always that little something inside, that little voice inside that saying, hey, come check this out over here. You know, and that's the truth. That's just talking to you. So the red pill and the blue pill is the ultimate choice of, like, okay, I've had enough. I want the truth, or I'm scared. I'm tucking tail and keeping the same comfort zone that I'm used to. And you know, to me, it's like real talk. From my point of view, it's time to transcend this matrix. It's time to realize the truth. And okay, I'm about to really go off. So, what were you about to say, Joel?
Oh, well, I was going to say we're going to go to our first break because we've just been going super directly through it, and time is flying by. So when we come back, we want to deconstruct this matrix a little bit. We're going to look at some of the systems that if we were living in a matrix, what are some things that we've observed that are matrixy, our programming, controls, conditions. You know, we're going to sit with Neo in the chair for a little bit and see if we can get a download. So give us a call at 347-989-8851 to join the conversation, and we will be right back to look at red pill and blue pill. And we are back. Jesse, is this one of your favorites?
Hey man, I knew y'all could hear me. I didn't care though.
Well, I was just thinking, he said, what's going on in that beautiful mind? We're on a magical mystery ride, okay?
Man,
That's pretty appropriate. Because we are here tonight on Are We Yet Asleep, and we're talking about the magical mystery ride of reality that we're all experiencing right now. We're trying to figure out, are we in the Matrix or how we're living? Have we taken the red pill or the blue? So I'm Miss J. I'm here with Jesse and Kim this evening. We're having our usual Thursday conversation. And so we've been talking about the Matrix, the movie and the reality. And let's just say, if we were to discover that we are in a system that is made to do something to us for a specific outcome, I would say that one of the elements of our current matrix is certainly religion as a control system, that it's something that's organized religion as an institution, certainly in the modern Christian era, has exerted a great deal of influence and control that has shaped a lot of people's realities for good and in some cases for bad. So if we were to be in some kind of program, religion would be a very effective tool, I think, as evidence. Am I off here? Anyone agree?
Yeah, that's one facet. I would agree.
Okay. And I think, our government and political structures and things like that would also probably be an element, of conforming. I'm thinking of like Pink Floyd and The Wall, and when all the little sheeple are going into the meat grinder kind of thing. Societal norms push people into a program, if you will.
Yeah. So I would like to go off. Can I go off?
Well, I don't know. Which planet are you going to?
No, okay. This is okay. I don't want to beat around the bush. I want to get straight to the dang heart of this because, our whole reality, is controlled by divide and conquer, fear. Fear creates division between all of us. It creates the illusion that we're separate. So in religion, that's one. You say God is going to punish you, blah, blah, blah. If you don't do this, this, and this, right? Okay, there's one. Government, money, scarcity. If you do this, then you're out of regulation. Oh, it's fear. Okay, so any kind of fear that you hold within your being is going to create separation from you and the entire world that you experience. But when you're in a state of love and a state of expansion, you're in full connectedness with everything that is. And that's what the controlling powers don't want you to experience. Because once you experience that, you realize you're a wizard. You are a straight-up magical being that can create anything that you want to in the palm of your hand in a snap of a finger. And once you have no scarcity, then there's no way to be controlled. Okay, that was my go off. That's real talk.
Well, I mean, you jumped to like episode 3, Matrix 3. That's what happened at the end, right? We discover the two characters really love is what returns him to life, and he ultimately sacrifices himself for the good of everyone in the network, right, out of love. I think that was the final message I walked away with in the movie, is that, for the whole infrastructure of their little Zion, their whole ability, they wanted to move beyond just rescuing their facility. They wanted to bring the Matrix down, crash the system, give it a virus, take it offline, master reboot, whatever you want to call it. And his ultimate sacrifice is what then triggered that to be able to go dark or happen, I guess, if you will. So, I have to say the little, is it Wachowski, I don't know how you pronounce it, brother or brother, sister now, I feel like they've given us some real tidbits of esoteric knowledge, not just a Hollywood entertainment, right? Because when you look at Cloud Atlas, that was another one of the movies that had great, the book was good. The book was better than the movie, but they did a decent job stitching it together, you know. And I think that was one of those, here's a real truth message movie. We're going to disguise it as entertainment so that you discount it as seriousness. And we just deliver to you the truth of things that if you only knew, it's kind of like seeing the bits and binary code of the Matrix. When you finally start to see it, then you know, Neo was able to start to manipulate it and start to move that connectedness and that energy you talk about. It's very clear to me in that movie, very clear symbolism and direct statements about stuff.
Right.
On the spiritual plane, not just the physical rules of the world that he was engaging in, at least for the first one. I can't speak so directly about number 2 and number 3, you know, but definitely in the original.
You know, I ask myself a lot of times, why are we doing this radio show? And the question for me, it always triggers some really, really deep thoughts. And this show is such an awesome, like, platter of how we could look at our experience as human beings in this world. In real talk, we are moving out of disempowerment. And I know for me, and I hope, and as a matter of fact, I know that everybody's shifting and moving. And I'm a wizard. I know what I have the capability to do. And it's just a matter of me unfolding my reality and my walk as Jesse Simmons to see what is it that I can experience. And I'm not talking about just making something appear, but I'm talking about living in complete and full abundance, where there is no control, no one has control over me, and I'm in complete synchronicity with all the beings that I'm sharing this reality with. Nobody can control me through fear because I know the power that's within me. And I think that I know that this is the key to us busting out of being controlled in any shape or form. Because anybody in this whole audience that's listening, could you raise your hand and say, I really love being controlled. I love being in fear. And if you do, then you've been conditioned heavily.
Okay, Jesse, I got one for you that's even deeper than that, though.
Break it down.
No, this is a question for you, just so we can say how matrixy it can get. What if your assurance that you have already beaten the game and you are, you know, out of it and you are clear-headed and know what's really happening around you, what if that in itself is an illusion that you've been given? So that way you wouldn't question what the real reality is because you think you've already gotten what the reality is right now.
Well, that's awesome because it means that I've taken my steps to evolve from the certain reality that I've been experiencing, three-dimensional reality, and I've moved into a bridgeway, which is the fourth dimension, which is a collective consciousness, which is moving into the fifth dimension, which is another reality, which is a completely connected reality. And then there's a sixth dimension, a seventh dimension, which I have probably no conscious in this three-dimensional world. I have no conscious awareness of, or maybe I do.
Yeah, it reminds me of that, you know, when you see the pictures of people and they've got the mirror and then the next mirror and then it's just like that, you know, phantom mirror pool and it just keeps going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's almost how it can be. You wonder just how many layers upon layers upon layers is there really to our reality? Just like we don't know how far space truly extends. We only know as far as the light has traveled so far for us. You know, what if our realities are the same way, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I definitely think, you know, that message has been given. I mean, if you look at Alice in Wonderland, like just how deep does the rabbit hole go, you know, when you start to peel back the layers into possibilities. I kind of feel it's almost like our favorite show, the Game of Thrones, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the Game of Thrones, it's like chess to the nth degree. So life around us is like chess to the nth degree. And on the one hand, you have people who are playing a very controlled and calculating game with the world as its pawn. But on the other hand, in opposition to that, we have the rules of nature and of universal flow. And the chess masters are trying to control the outcomes against universal flow and universal truth and balance. And so that's why I think in the long game, nature will win and destroy the chess game and all its markings that have, kind of damaged, I think, the psyche of consciousness, if you will, because I think in chess I saw someone say that you have to be willing to make any sacrifice necessary to reach your goal. And so I think that's what the Matrix has given us now as a society, or powers that be, that are willing to sacrifice anything, clean water, clean air, clean environment, people, to achieve control of the chessboard, so to speak. But again, the laws of nature and of scientific, that nature will be in balance, that all things move towards harmonious function together as an ecosystem. It may take another millennia. I hope not, but I feel like the long game, if we think of ourselves in terms of soul travelers or people who will have an energetic presence that goes beyond our physical lifetime now, either through our children or children's children, or even as ourselves reincarnating, that, at some point you can have a peace because well, maybe this time, I think in the Matrix they had several different Neo-type situations that had run through the program before, time and time again, until they were getting all the bugs kinked out. Hey, I'm all right with getting to try this time and time again until I get the bugs kinked out. That's a good message to me right there, Let's try this program again from the beginning and reboot.
Right. Hey, it looks like we got a caller going on. Let's see what they have to say. Caller 9276, you're on the line.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Hi. What's your name?
Zen.
Zen.
Hey, Zen.
How you doing, Zen?
How you doing?
What's going on? Can you guys hear me okay? I'm driving. Just want to make sure you guys hear me clearly.
Oh, yeah, you're loud and clear.
All right, cool.
Hey, Zen.
Yeah, also, I wanted to say that, two things about the, I also believe that, all of us are, are controlled by fear, scarcity, all that kind of stuff. But, it's kind of interesting. When you went on your last break, the first thing that pops up is a commercial for pharmaceutical. and it's such a crazy thing. So let's forget about all the folks that are on like mental illness, right? And not only that, but those who are in therapy and taking psychotropic drugs, a lot of the things that, this is kind of really interesting that every now and then it gets really quiet, but every now and then you'll have somebody pop up and want to go on a killing spree, right? Mm-hmm. And see, one of the things that's not being said is that a lot of these psychotropic drugs are actually, one of the side effects is violence. And so it's one of the things that's not being, expressed. A lot of people don't know about, when they're trying to figure out what happens to someone when they snap. Well, they were taking medications that cause them to be that way. So, I just wanted to, put that out there and, get some feedback.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, because I will say that along with religion and politics and governance, one excellent form of exerting control is over people's health. If your population is incapacitated through health crises, then you're going to probably be placed in a debtor position. You'll certainly be weaker and ripe for takeover. And our own forefathers sent smallpox-infested blankets to the Native Americans to ensure that their population was, wiped out. Well, you know, we have one of the most medicated societies, and here in America I speak for, we have one of the most medicated societies of any of the developed countries. I think you can't watch an hour of TV without seeing a commercial for a pharmaceutical product. So, yeah, side effects. I mean, it may be it might be mental health disturbances from your side effects, certainly violence. But, you know, the people who are looking at the large systems, I don't think that this matters. It's part of the calculation and the formula where the collateral losses, if you will, unfortunately. But it certainly is controlling, you know. Our food in our country controls us 100%. Our access to nutrition and healthy food, it affects everything from how kids are educated to how people behave in their personalities, you know, as they engage the outside world. So by changing and controlling that, it's subtly changed and controlled populations as well. I know there's so many layers. We can just, I think everything that you can look at can see where there might be a possibility for there to have been some poison pill, if you will, injected into our reality. And uncovering those is key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, Zen, I wanted to ask you a question. I wanted to hear your opinion on this. We're talking about the red and the blue pill and what they represent. The red pill representing the larger truth, the truth that's not obvious in the matrix experience, or the blue pill that inserts you back into that illusionary experience. What would motivate you personally to pick the red or the blue pill, and what pill would you take and why?
Well, it's pretty easy. I always go against the grain. It'll be red, definitely, always. I mean, it's in my nature to, you know, to challenge, or just to, you know, just to, if anything, educate myself about what's going on around me. You know, so it's kind of where I had a conversation with Jay a long time ago, in that, you know, it's kind of weird. I'm sitting there driving or doing something. It's like all of a sudden I'm trying to figure out where all these cameras come from. You know, and I couldn't believe it. Some of the things that I'm seeing, and I'm like, it's like I've been asleep, and I'm just now seeing, you know, just all this stuff that I didn't seem to notice, you know, maybe 5-10 years ago. You know, and I'm sure it was going on, you know, for a long period of time. So the answer is red, and it's always awesome. Because I believe in, you know, I don't mind bucking the system a little bit, you know, and also you know, believe in fighting for what's, you know, for what's right and for everybody, basically, you know. So, yeah.
Right on. Much props.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I think that everybody, sometimes you're forced to swallow the red pill, whether you really want to or ready to or not. And I think that can be a little challenging as well. We are going to take another quick break again, and we do hope that you call at 347-989-8851. We're going to continue examining the idea of matrix and what your choice would be and why. And, of course, we got to touch on the fact that after he came out the matrix, there was a guy who wanted to go back in, and he was willing to kill to do it. So when we come back, we're going to touch on that. When the red pill reality is a little different than what you anticipated. This is Are We Yet Asleep, and you're listening to WTLC Talk Radio. We'll be right back. All right, there is nothing new under the sun. We've got a little Lauryn Hill and Killing Them Softly, and I think Roberta did it first. So I think there's a lesson in that. We're not here the first time either. There's nothing new under the sun. So we get remixed a little when we come back and get freshened up for the new times and have an opportunity to make our impact. I don't know, just my 2 cents right there. So this is Are We Yet Asleep? I'm Miss J. I'm here with Jesse and Kim, and we're talking about the Matrix. And are we living in one? And are you free of the Matrix? Did you take the blue pill, the red pill? What was your blue pill, red pill moment? Have you followed the white rabbit? Give us a call. We're at 347-989-8851 to join the conversation. And, what happens when you realize you woke up from the Matrix and, first of all, you're in slimy goo like Neo was, and you had to be, regrow your hair and close all the computer ports that had been into your body? He had a pretty harsh kind of awakening experience that was very emotional to watch when it happened. He was like a little bald, slimy baby and a whole lot of levels.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when you realize you're living a less comfortable life, possibly because of your perspective change, for a time period anyway? How do you reconcile all the crazy things that start to happen to you once you start to look at life differently?
I think it definitely happens like the cycles of nature. It comes and it goes, it ebbs and it flows, and the way that we kind of, in my experience anyway, I can't speak for anybody else, but it's not like there's one awakening and you're awake and then bam, here you are, you see the whole thing, and there's multiple awakenings. You continually seeing your reality in a different nature, and the time that we're in now is happening so fast that the acceleration of awakenings and, just metamorphosis is happening over and over and over, and where it would happen maybe one time or two times in a lifetime, 100, 200 years ago, we're going through metamorphosis. It could happen in one day. We could have 4 metamorphoses in one day. And it's like when you bust out of one paradigm, one reality, one matrix, and you go into another, it is really a startling thing, and it can shake the hell out of you. I know I've gone through many, many times. Ms. J, I go through my ups and downs, and I've really gone through tremendous tumultuous times, and sometimes you just gotta roll with it. You can fight it, but the reality is you're gonna wake up in some goo and not have any hair and be like, I don't even know what the hell's happening. You know what I'm saying? But you get your bearings and you come back and you keep it rolling. You know what I'm saying? It takes courage. It takes heart. But if you have faith, if you trust in that guidance that's going on within you, if you understand and start to get familiar with that guidance that's going on within your heart, then those awakenings, they're not so harsh anymore. They're still mind-blowing in a lot of ways, but they don't have to be as harsh because of that knowing that and faith and trust that these awakenings are going to unfold and you're going to be all right.
It was a moment for me, I have to tell you, is I'm watching TV, and who do I see but the character who had all the faith and the heart to begin with, Morpheus, the one who believed there could be a one, the one who sacrificed his whole everything to find this person, right? He's selling a car on a TV commercial. Talk about which choice are you going to have, and I think there's a red car and a blue car or something. I was so offended by the commercial because it was like the antithetical, exact opposite that everything I felt the red pill, blue pill moment signified 15 years ago now has become a corporate shill in his badass sunglasses for a car company, as if you're challenging your mind and your mental capacity and perspective when you go to choose which vehicle you're going to drive down the street.
But what is it about that bothers you?
Because it is an idea that car object is a reality-changing, depthful kind of moment like he gave Neo the opportunity to experience. It was almost like the opposite. It's like buying into the capitalist matrix system of money and status and possession, material things as a construct of the matrix. It was like peddling the wrong thing.
So what if it was there to test you to see if you could recognize, I've learned the lesson that I needed to learn from this red and blue pill experience, and the offense that comes with them flipping this and turning it into corporate things, it's not even something that can affect me, because I can rise above. They're going to turn that. It's just like Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ lived his life as an embodiment of all heart. And I don't want to go into religion, but hello. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I don't know what that was, but okay. Yeah, that was wild.
Somebody burping on the phone. But anyway, the point that I'm making is that when we receive what we need to receive, it's already been received, you know. And if you didn't get it, then you just didn't get it.
Well, I have to say, in the movie, if we're, he had to have practice before he got it. His eyes had to be open, and his situation had to unfold further before he got it. He didn't just, he was a badass. He didn't just go kick Morpheus' butt in the scenario right away. It took him a couple of failed attempts where he would have been shot by the lady in the red dress because he didn't quite understand how the Matrix worked. So I guess I'm a little more expansive to say, well, sometimes you may get it in theory, but in practice you haven't quite got it yet. So it might be that, you've learned to free yourself of the low vibration response to, say, maybe having a financial struggle. If not being able to pay your bills or having a job, a layoff or something like that lowers your vibration, sometimes you can elevate yourself above it to say, this is just part of the system. I'm going to succeed. I'm not my job. I'm going to be okay financially. You can, move yourself to a place of being better able to inhabit your reality mentally so that it doesn't affect your inner self. It's just situational. But sometimes you forget, and you might get down, or you might get depressed, or you might feel the struggle upon you in a hard way because the rules of the Matrix are severe and meant to exert pressure to have you feel those negative effects. And sometimes your inner radiance and inner truth doesn't shine as brightly because the Matrix is very good at what it does.
Good point. So, everything that we experience is an opportunity to check in and see where we're operating from. And Ms. J, I love you to life. And I'm saying these things not because I got it figured out. I know it all. I'm saying it because we all in this together. We're all in this experience of the controlling aspects of the world that come in and attempt to knock us off our center, knock us off of operating in a place of love. And so the more and more we can come together as brothers and sisters and say, hey, I know this might look this way, but let's just start whistling while we work. Even though this work doesn't seem very fun, let's flip the script. They just insulted the integrity of Morpheus. How dare they? But no, it's there for us. It's there for us to be like, that's so funny how they did that. You know, look at those chemtrails. Look, they just created such a beautiful rainbow, don't they? Look at the controlling, you know, monetary system and how they're trying to collapse. You know, I know it's like, it sounds silly to be lighthearted about, you know, stuff that would be considered extremely serious experiences that people go through. But the reality is that if we have the wherewithal within ourselves to flip the script on any given situation that is promoting fear, that is exuding fear to bring us into segregation and separation, then there it is again. We are able and we have the power within us to transcend the matrix, and boom, we're living that red pill.
But that's
so
also
we're living
given
in
to us every day, don't you think? I mean, just even with media, the way that the media portrays things and pits things, people against each other, different races against each other, different. Like, for instance, earlier tonight, I was looking online, saw a thing about a particular person who's going to be joining a particular news agency. It's a person of color that you would not have thought of going for this agency. And the article was saying that black people were enraged that this person was joining this network. And when you looked at the commentary that was there, it wasn't so much about, well, you know, I'm glad that she does what she does, or she's willing to step outside the box or whatever. The entire commentary was basically talking about black people and all the stereotypes about black people. Well, they're too busy being welfare people. They're too busy being, you know, moochers off of society and, you know, having babies and yada, yada. And the fact that this was the kind of commentary that you were seeing, that people think like that, who obviously haven't had much interaction with people of color, but they believe that everybody is like that. You know, that in itself is a way of controlling and a matrix in itself, you know, that kind of underlying fear-mongering that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that fears, you know, false evidence appearing real. I always hear Ralph Smart, who I watch on YouTube, talk about that concept. And, you know, fear basically is what, from even our tribal times, fear of our neighbor or the unknown entering our hunting space or our gathering fields. I think that's kind of even an animal kind of nature, where there's outside to the clan or the tribe or the pack, if you will, fear, and then embracing and bringing into community. Well, the idea that we are different at all from anyone, male, female, young, old, by race, by creed, by country, when, you know, I think it's going to take really one of those kind of extraterrestrials land moments to let everybody see we are just all the same. We're really not different. When we start to look at ourselves as earthlings instead of Americans, I think that it will be a great day. Hopefully it won't be Armageddon Day, but hopefully it won't be the day of a terrible invasion. I don't think that it would be at this point. But I would think that the day that we realize that we're just Earth or humans would be a good day.
You know, yeah. And that'd be, you know, if something happens where there is a single event that triggers all these things, cool. Like, I'm all about it. Like, I'm rolling right with it. For me, I don't know anything. The only thing I know is I'm here. And so from that place, that's my place of power. I am. Right? I am here. And so I'm not going to place what I want to experience in my reality in anybody else's hands. And I know I'm speaking optimally and it's if we could all just do this, that'd be wonderful. But the reality is we're not all just going to do this. Maybe at one point, but I don't have control of anybody else. I only have the power within me to say, I'm going to be the change. I'm going to be what it is that I want to experience. You know, like I've lived in all kinds of neighborhoods, and I'm not being narcissistic. I'm talking about me, but I'm saying everybody out there, within your heart, look within your heart and be what it is that you want to experience. If you feed into the fear mongering, if you feed into this, check it. What is it that's triggering within you that's making you say, you know, that anger flare up, or taking you out of your center where you can't be operating from a loving nature? Because I don't have it all together by any means, and so I don't want to come across like I'm talking like I know everything, because I don't know any of it. But the one thing I do know is I am, and I am is a powerful place to be. So be it. That's what I'm saying. Is that making sense? I mean, I feel like I'm going off, but I'm speaking from my heart, to be honest with you.
Well, you know, I get it on the spiritual level from a presence of self and presence of mind, but I also know that, like, while I'm living my dream, say my dream is to bake delicious cupcakes, I have to deal with the rules and laws and regulations of being a cupcake baker who sells to the public or gives food to the public in today's society. So while we can, you know, have a certain freedom to pursue, there's still rules because we're still playing chess, because it takes things to survive and not live under a bridge in today's society. And those things apply the external controls that then send us to do things. Maybe we do our dream differently. Instead of healing everybody for free, we have to heal for fee. You know, instead of growing food in the garden, we got to go buy it at the store. It's all kinds of things that temper in our current reality. And thankfully, because of technology and all kinds of equalizing opportunities, we have ways like never before to manifest our dream and our truth. But I think the fact that there's still not, I guess, a real escape mode yet. We haven't escaped the matrix yet, I don't think.
No. Yes. No.
But we're on the way.
Yes.
I think we're on the way. I think the fact that it's being revealed, that the bits and binary codes are starting to show up, and we each have an opportunity to reveal them in our own lives is a good thing. But I don't think that we collectively have reached a critical mass, and I don't think it's meant to, because the process of awakening and improving and ascending and coming out of the matrix reality is supposed to be gradual, like it is. It's unfolding as it will, because nature happens in its perfect order.
Mm-hmm.
I think the program files are still what's opening. You know, we're still on none of those subfolders. And then then you go to that higher directory and then the next one, and then we'll finally be in the operating system. But
right, when he finally gets to the control room and he sees all those things, and then he starts doing raging calm, bullshit. He like has a little mini meltdown because he sees all the number of times, right? I think that's kind of where, hey, a lot of people are having that bullshit moment, like, you can't be serious. Is this for real? And I think we're headed for something different. We know that it's going to be better because it's already better. It's been a great discussion tonight. This has been Arietta Sweep, and we've covered everything. I'm sure we're going to get all into this subject a little bit more because the matrix isn't going away and our reality isn't going to stay the same either. I hope you all have a great week and join us again. Make sure you check us out on our Facebook group, AWYA. And Jesse and Kim, take us on out.
Well, I love you guys. Stay up, stay positive, be uplifted and empowered. One love.
Peace out. Bye.
Good night, everyone.